Hello, I am Papagino. Today I continue my coverage of some fun battles I've had in some Splinterlands tournaments recently. This was an interesting battle I've had against this player TJ's, which I bump into somewhat often in these tournaments, so it's fun to see the same people pop up every now and then and sort of have some little rivalries and so forth. And this time I had the upper hand, although in general this tournament isn't going particularly well. But still, this was a fun little battle to take part in and watch it resolve. It was quite satisfying. We can see it's a 50 mana cap for this battle, and it's only fire, death, and water that are available. But since it's a wild tournament, there's still several different strategies that one can pursue technically with even just 3 splinters, because there's just so many summoners. And well, perhaps to no one's surprise, we both elected to sort of follow a magic based strategy, more or less. I used the Lorcus Summoner, very strong card from the modern rotation. And TJ is elected to use Valnamor, I think it's called, though I can't seem to be able to bring up the information, but you see it pretty much laid out there. So it's a magic buff for all his units, and then some stats, health and speed as well. So an all-around great summoner. I think it only costs 5 mana, if I'm not mistaken. So quite a strong legacy summoner. And of course, though, you can see he pursued this sort of magic strategy, but in the end he only picked 2 magic units, strong units at that, but he perhaps could have leaned more into it since he picked that summoner. I don't know. I'm not sure what his reasoning was there. I also picked some weird cards, to be honest. For instance, well, this Susut here, this demon, it's a very strong card with the Bloodlust effect. I really like it. It's a legacy card. It's no longer available in Modern, but you can see how it would be even stronger with the Lorcus Summoner. So I wanted to try it out. I figured this would be a strong part of my lineup. And perhaps where it got a little bit funkier is honestly the rest of my lineup. I went for this Soriel the Bale magic unit. It has double strike, so it gets the buff from Lorcus, the magic buff, and then on top of that it attacks twice. And I ended up giving him the affliction effect as well, the life leech more significantly, so you can see it has the opportunity to heal up quite a bit. But to compensate for that is quite slow and also a little bit frail given the mana cost of 9, so definitely a bit of a liability there. And then in general, these 2 choices for me in the front line were also a bit funky. I decided to go for this Ulundin Overseer because it's a very decent mid shield. It will prevent a few attacks from going to the front line, of course. So I always like to pick him, sort of a safe choice. There are some very strong magic attackers, to be honest, so even a guy like this won't last for too long, but it's still something I like to do sometimes, pick the Overseer there. And then to complement him and sort of justify its presence, I decided to pick a strong melee unit as well, and I decided to go for Grum Flameblade to sort of attack from the second position and hopefully get a few instances of the Bloodlust as well there. So I ended up using 2 Bloodlust units, but not Gladiator units, which is sort of funny, but that was a coincidence. But I don't think any of these 3 choices for the top 3 sort of spots in my lineup were excellent, but they ended up working quite nicely in the end there. And of course you can see my opponent's lineup as well here. He has this very, very strong card. I always rent him when I'm doing some tournaments because I wasn't lucky enough to get him back in the day when it was in print. The I cannot highlight its name, but it's the Kulu Mastermind, very strong melee units with 4 attack, quite deadly. It even has weapon training, although you don't even need to, which is what my opponent did here, you don't even need to utilize the weapon training portion of this card. It's just very strong card on its own. So very impressive unit. And then the magic, of course, very strong and in keeping with the team he was pursuing. And then maybe the oddest choice was this Kraken. I guess he wasn't expecting the magic necessarily, so he just went with a generic big taunt monster at the front and was hoping maybe the backline would do some work. So similar strategies, but me and my opponent in the choice of summoners with the magic, but of course very different lineups. But let's see what happens here. Let the battle start. You can see I elected to, well, it's very straightforward choice. In a way, I elected to give the life leech to Husut and Soriel the Bale with the double strike. And let's see what happens. So I get hit a few times, and there we go already. The Kulu Mastermind putting in some work. He already brought my Soriel the Bale down to from 5 health to 1 health. So that would have been really bad if somehow this unit would have died too quickly. But as we'll see in a moment, I was able to very effectively recover some of the health there. So I went back to 5 basically just by healing passively while attacking the tank there. And then, as luck would have it, this guy was lower the second time around, so it baited the attack from the Kulu Mastermind onto him, so this guy could heal up passively a little bit more, so I was quite lucky there. And if we let the battle continue, you can see that these guys are really starting to get big, you know? And yeah, I mean, I don't think Ground Flame Blade is all that in most scenarios. I really love this card, but it's not particular. It's a little bit convoluted, and you can see here it doesn't really. I mean, it's a decent tank. I'll give him that, but sometimes you're hoping for him to really get many bloodlust effects going on, and it's not always the case. Definitely not here, but thankfully my other 2 units were picking up the slack, of course, and it was quite funny, but in the end my units prevailed. This effect from Lorcus is just too strong. The life leech, you can see in the end they were massive, these 2 units of mine with 13 and 19 health respectively, so it was a fun little battle, very satisfying to see itself resolved. But yeah, that was it. That was one of my most fun battles in recent times. Let's see if we can go back to the lobby. The tournament overall is not going too well. It's not going really in my favor. I'm with a score of 2 wins and 5 losses actually, and not great prospects to recover all too well in the remaining battles that still need to be resolved. So I probably won't make it this time around on round 2, I'm afraid, but I got a few more battles that I'm looking forward to, or tournaments rather, that I'm looking forward to do in the next week or so. So hopefully I'll pick up the slack there, and maybe in the modern format especially I'll be able to, because it's more predictable than wild, I can perhaps pull off some nice wins there as well. Anyway, let me show you one more thing. I want to open a few packs here that I have been saving. These gladiator cards. I like to spend some of my seasonal glint on these gladiator packs, and then of course also passively and stacking up the currency, doing the guild brawls. So every once in a while I'll have a few of these to open. I'm really just for the sake of the tournaments mostly looking forward to the legendaries. I'm not gonna highlight any of these. I'm just gonna flip all, as it says here, and see if I can get lucky with a legendary finally. It's been a while, but it doesn't seem to be the case, sadly. I mean, I can't be too disappointed with this epic unit for the life splinter, but I already had it, and I'm not necessarily looking to upgrade it or anything. So sadly, these are not the cards that I wanted to see, but hopefully eventually I will be able to complete my legendary collection with all the gladiator cards. Just not today yet. But yeah, it was fun, and this was my submission for the social media challenge. See you next time.